All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another segment of Development 360. It's a beautiful morning here in Memphis, and you can see I got a co-host this morning. Got my oldest, Peyton. She's sitting here hanging out with us this morning. This is going to be a great interview this morning. Got a former player that I had an opportunity to get involved with. Peyton has played with. She knows that, they're friends, etc. But, we go way back, over 10 years now. Yeah, Cierra Burdick. Yeah, she's, gone on to play college basketball. She's a 10-year vet now, almost in the league, overseas, etc. She's been everywhere. So this is a great segment of 360. It's also our first show. Normally I do it with coaches. This is our first show. We're going to actually do it with players. And the things I want to start off with a segment with players, including my daughter and her. They can talk about, the game, from a full perspective, from a full circle standpoint of where they've come from on the women's side, building up and all the way up to now. So this should be a great conversation. So there's Cierra there, and we're gonna get this rolling here. So how you doing this morning?
I'm good.
Good.
How are you?
Good. What's up?
What's up, Coach?
Hey,
What's-
C.
Hey.
How are
What's
you?
going on?
Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm this technology stuff and me don't get along. So
Really? You just waking up?
no, I've been up for a minute. I think this glare is bad. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, do what you gotta do.
Y'all all in my room. I'm inviting y'all in my room.
Hey.
Hey, as you can see, you can see we're gonna kind of hit that in a minute. I see the orange. Which
Hold
is,
on, you gotta up now.
Don't feel bad. It's just.
On a tour. I'm gonna take y'all on a tour.
Oh yeah, you gotta take us on the tour. Gotta take us on the tour. You been good?
Yeah, how are y'all? Y'all hanging in there?
Yeah, Peyton, how long you been? You been with?
I got here Monday,
Yeah,
but I had to go first, and then I came here. But
You were right.
I was in Georgia first, and then I came here Monday. So I'll be here a month.
A month?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and forth.
Y'all about to be in the gym. I already know.
Today, we're going today. Right
This
after.
your first?
Yeah, this is the first time I'm able to get a goal and shoot because everything was closed. Yeah, so I've just been doing ball handling and stuff.
Don't kill it, Coach.
No,
right?
No, it's gonna be, y'all vets now.
First day back. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of you get a feel for the players. When you go back in, especially with pro players, you kind of find out what they need to, what they want to focus on initially, and then we just kind of ease into it.
Right. Right.
So you know how it goes. Y'all been in this for a while, so I don't hit y'all in the mouth like that no more because y'all.
We ain't going back overseas for at least 6 months, so we don't need to be top shape right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. How just how everything's going because it's like how do you prepare in the unknown?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. I think it's all about just keeping faith, first of all, and then eventually things are going to get back to normal. So I'm always saying, just try to stay ready so you ain't got to get ready.
Exactly.
But it's also maintaining your body because, I said you don't want to be in tippity top shape because that was something that we struggled with in college is we would train so hard in the summer. And then come March, we didn't have what we needed to get over the hump and get into that Final Four. And I think that's finding that balance of not killing yourself so you're able to perform, win in playoffs. So this is all about maintaining your body, doing injury prevention stuff, staying strong, working on things that you feel this is a perfect time to work on your weaknesses.
Exactly.
And you got so much time, 6 months. When do you ever have 6 months that you're not playing a game? This is the first time that I haven't had something that I needed to train for since I was 5 years old. So it's weird mindset. And you're like, okay, I'm not training for a game right now. I'm just training to have longevity type thing.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you're so right. I was sitting here and we were talking, before the show started, we were just talking about the whole process, how we met. The thing is, I didn't even realize this morning 11 years has gone by.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I met you. I think you were just coming out of the 10th grade. Y'all were down. We were in South Carolina down in camp, and I remember because she went to that camp. It was some type of elite
It's
camp.
elite camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my girl Nikki McCrae was there. You know, shout
Shout
out to Nikki. You know, she
I
down
just
in
crossed
Mississippi
this
now.
week.
So yeah, so she, you know, she's ready to do a great job down there. But yeah, we graduated together. So as soon as I walk in the gym, and she's like, "Kevin, your daughter's here. You got 2 daughters here." I was like, "No, I got 1." I was like, "No," I said, "No, nigga, I got 1." So anyway, so I'm, you know, she's like, "Well, it's this girl here. I mean, she looked like she could be yours." And I was like, "No." I said, "Well," I said, "You will see her and you will know." She said, "Trust me, she's like that. Like, you will know right away as soon as you see her. Like, this girl here is like, this is gonna be the future of college basketball." I was like, "What?" I was like, so I'm walking around. It took me about 10 minutes. I figured it out. That's when I spotted you. And I was like, "Oh man!" Then I saw you playing. I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." But
Yeah.
one thing I remember, just going back, you know, you were just like you are now. I mean, you always had that ability to communicate, you know, and stand up for yourself. And that's the first thing I knew. I said, she's gonna be a pro, because she knew right then how to address, you know, the situation, how to make sure you take ownership of everything. Because I remember how, you know, we exchanged information after that, and you were
I
like,
was in the gym
yeah,
with you.
exactly, yeah. I said, I'm in Wilmington. You were like, "Well, oh man, I'm coming to Wilmington next week." I was like, "Oh, okay, well, let's go." So I remember you came down, and I mean, I think our first workout, we worked for like 3 hours.
Yeah, and the gym was mad hot.
You know how we do. You gotta keep it hot up in there.
He likes
I
hot.
think I walked out of that thing drenched.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's how it's gotta be. I mean, blood, sweat, and tears, baby. You know how we do.
We packed up the cars. My mom, my stepdad, my brother. I think we even brought the dog. We all packed up the car. I mean, we had stuff on top of the car. You would have thought we was going on a whole campus trip for like a month. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first stop was the gym to come work out with you.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good work. I mean, like I said, I just looked at it last night. I posted it because I still had it on my. It was one of my first YouTube videos, because you know I that's when YouTube was really like kicking in good.
Right.
And I remember, you know, we did some filming or whatever, and yeah, it was great. I looked at it and I was just like, just couldn't believe how big I was. Man, I mean, I'm telling you, hey,
You just slimmed down, but you back in your playing weight, right?
No, I was heavy.
Yeah.
I was really still adjusting to, you know, plus I didn't know, I wasn't eating right at that time.
But
I mean,
and like, I'm gonna get back in shape. I gotta get back in shape. You know,
Yeah.
to train your pros, especially like when as active as you are and you want to be able to show the drills and demonstrate and stuff. You said I got to get back in shape.
Yeah.
I think it was the year you was back in playing weight. It looked like.
Yeah, well, like I said, I got back in my playing weight in 2014. It was about 14. I got up to about 252.
Yeah.
And it was her freshman
summer
year.
of my freshman year.
And she came home, I think she lost 20 pounds, and I dropped like 35.
Yeah.
So I mean, I went back almost 215.
Wait
So
a minute.
I went back freshman year. I mean, that's how much weight I lost. But I changed all my nutritional patterns. I mean, I stopped eating all that fast food, got away from the beef, sticking with, you know, the chicken, the fish, you know, a lot of salads, just clear my body out. And all of a sudden, I just snapped. All of a sudden, now I'm still in good shape. I'm like 220, 226 now. So
Wow.
I'm feeling good. I'm bouncy.
Yeah.
We ran about 3 miles 2 days ago. He kept up with me. Like he kept up, and I was just like, wow. I was impressed. Like, you're 49, and he's just like, yeah, taking care of your body like that is so important.
For sure.
So how's everybody else doing? Everybody good? You know, moms, everybody?
Yeah, everybody's good. Everybody's good. My brother's getting crazy big. He's taller than me. He looks like a grown man. It's kind of sick.
Yeah, I saw the pictures.
Yeah. So, but it's a weird time for him too, because he was planning on doing track this spring, and so now he's like, what to do? So he's just working on finishing his schoolwork, and you know, everybody's just trying to lay low, do their thing, go by the guidelines, stay out of trouble.
It's tough, man. It's been, you know, it's been a journey going through this process, because it was, you know, really tough for me because of, you know, we were on such a momentum, you know, in terms of getting ready for college players to come in, you know, to start working out. You know, everyone was just kind of making their way to the pre-draft process. So
Mm-hmm.
on both sides. So
Yeah.
so it was just hard because it was like everyone was like, let's go. And I'm like, we can't go. And it's like, yeah, you're right, we can't go. So that peer pressure, it's like, they were trying to test me.
Right, because you want to get in.
Like, we can't do nothing. But one thing that helped was when they shut that gym down. When they shut it down, they're like, nah, dude, like we finding y'all open. So I was like, all right, don't worry about it, we good. So,
right.
But yeah. But it's
so. Are y'all be able to get there soon, or are y'all still on stay-at-home mandate?
We're not on a full stay at home, so places are opening up slowly right now. So I think today is really the first day we can actually go in a gym, but it's like limited time.
Okay.
So it's like, it's gonna be short. We're in there like an hour and a half, and then, we're out. Keep the numbers, really, really low.
Yeah.
With not a lot of people, which, that's how I do anyway. But, really, I'll make sure that everyone's spaced out properly with their own stuff.
Right.
Let's be smart about it until, we can at least get further down the road with this and get some full clarity on it.
Do you have your own spot, or you going to a public gym?
No, I still have a gym that I train. So yeah, so we're good with that. We just have to be smart about, having people going in and out all the time.
Right.
Make sure things sanitized and clean before, anyone walks in. That's a 30, 40-minute process. Because you have to make sure you go everywhere, everyone been, doors, bathrooms, everything.
Yeah.
So, I'm getting my janitorial skills on, you know what I'm
There
saying?
we go. Hey,
But yeah, just moving on, I'm just sitting here thinking about stuff, my mind is just racing, the process, I saw also, you got your jersey retired, Hall of Fame, all that at the high school. I was supposed to be there. Man, it was just tough. I was in so much was going on.
Yeah, no worries. I know Mr. Lenny hate that he couldn't make it either. Mr. Lenny and Miss Joanne. But yeah, that was huge. And just to be able to come back from overseas, my team allowed me to do that. I mean, I had kind of gotten word that Butler was going to try to retire my jersey over the summer before I even signed. So I made sure that was in my contract. That I could support. And that's one of the benefits of having a good agent and a team that's willing to cooperate with you. So I was able to fly home, be here for the jersey retirement. And that was just really cool because I don't even remember the last time I had both sides of my family be at one event or in the same room.
Wow.
So I've had my friends since I was 10, 11, 12 years old there. I've had both sides of my family, my nana and my papa, my grandma, and my grandpa. Like, who can say that they have both sets of grandparents at a function? And I'm 26 years old, so that's a blessing in itself. So just for them to be able to witness that, and I had aunts and cousins. I had cousins come down from Minneapolis, so it was a really cool experience. And just to be able to, experience that with my loved ones, that's what made it so awesome. The jersey hanging in the rafters or on the wall for forever is nice, but we get to share that with people that you really love. That's what makes it worth something.
Yeah, I know the feeling. That happened with the Hall of Fame, going in North Carolina's Hall of Fame in Wilmington, last year. It was great. I remember coming out and seeing everybody, and it was just amazing, the whole experience. It made you forget about yourself. So it's like all you would think about the people that touched you along the way. That had a part of that process, and just everything, the whole nine. So that was great. Oh,
yeah,
man. Yeah.
And I think I tried to make sure, just when I was preparing my speech, and it was a couple weeks after the tragic passing of Kobe, so that was like weighing on my heart real hard, and it was just. I could have easily just talked about the journey and the highs and lows of, my high school career and the wins and losses and whatnot, the winning the championships. But at that point, none of that even mattered. It was like, I'm going to 10 to 15 minutes that I get in front of this packed gym to just thank everybody that has helped me get here. And that was my opportunity to just extend gratitude and just my gratefulness for the people that have been with me along the way this entire time. And so to me, just being able to thank them, on that stage was so much more important than me talking about a state championship that I won my junior year. Like, so it's the people that make the journey and the experience so memorable. It's not, you know, as athletes and competitors, we're always like, internally we're driven by championships, you know, and awards and accolades. But then once you get there, it's like, oh, this is great, but it's not even what is the most important. It's like the fact that you did it with your teammates, your coaches, your family in your corner. Like, that's what makes it so special. It's the people along the way.
Yeah.
It's not the actual destination, you know. And I think something that I learned over the course of, you know, playing in college, high school, and pro.
Yeah, that transition you're talking about is, you know, it's great. You know, I was going to ask you about that as well. You know, just going from high school to college, you know, you think about the people that you come in contact with. You know, y'all were the last class to come in under Pat. I saw you're going to have, you know, y'all going to go on tonight and talk about that. But, you know, that was a special class. You know, I remember when y'all came in, I had no idea when I was working you were going to go to Tennessee. We never really talked about it directly. You know, you kind of asked me a couple of questions, etc., and I told you about the campus, you know, the life there and, you know, the people, but I had no idea you were going to go. Then I looked up and you called me and was like, yeah, I'm going to Tennessee. I was like, oh man, okay, cool. You know, so I knew you were in good hands because I knew you were going to a place where, you know, obviously they were going to develop you, you know, fully, not just as a player, but the whole nine. And that was great. And then you met my parents away from home, which I had to make sure that connection was there. You know, I knew they were going to look out.
Because Mr. Lenny and Miss Joanne, I mean, they were like, I always just say they took me under their wing. I was there at their house once, twice, 3 times a week, just when you need to get away from campus, just have some family, get a home-cooked meal. They came to all my games. Like, Mr. Lenny was fussing at the refs for me. Like, you just need to.
Same thing when I was there. So
it would, you know, 4 hours away from home isn't far, but that was my max. I wasn't going further than 4 hours just because I was my mom and my family. So just to have them there, you know, 20 minutes away from campus, that was even better. I could go there. Miss Joanne would make the best meals ever. And I'll pass out on the couch for a couple of hours and then go back to campus and get back to the grind. Just break.
They said they're her godparents.
Yeah, those are my godparents.
Right.
So, yeah, when I heard you were with them, I was like, oh yeah, she's in great hands because they're the greatest people. They're so supportive and they really love you. And I know they kept you very well taken care of while you were there. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was that experience? You know, being there. I mean, the things you played for Pat your freshman year, which was her last year. Then, you know, then you played for Holly. You know, and you know, like I said, the same staff. I mean, basically just, you know, absent of Pat. So, you know, I know y'all had some great times. So, you know, I followed you all the way through. You know, so you know, I'm gonna keep up. You know, so
right. I would say that honestly, the transition from high school to college was so much harder than my transition from college to the pros, just because the speed and I mean, the schedule was never hard for me, just because you have such a huge support system around you with academic, you know, counselors and advisors and whatnot. So going to class from 8 to 12, eating lunch from 12 to 1, having practice from 2 to 5, and then getting in the weights and then having study hall and dinner, that was no problem for me. But adjusting to, you were the big fish in a small pond in high school, and you were the man on campus, and then you got to go to, you know, a big pond and you a small fish. That's a hard transition. And, you know, playing behind Shakina Strickland, who's still in the league. I think she's coming up on her 9th or 10th year in the league. So I was playing behind Shakina Strickland, Glory Johnson, Alicia Manning. I mean, we had 5 great seniors that we just you had to wait your turn. And I was just telling one of my dream coaches, the organization that I founded a few years ago, I was just telling them that this transfer portal is just killing kids, first of all. Killing kids, but that's a different story. But it's hard to see when you're in the middle of it, how being patient and just waiting your turn will, like, cultivate your character for years to come. But my freshman year at Tennessee was unbelievably hard, and there were plenty of days when I called my mom and I was like, I want to transfer. I can't do this anymore, just because you get impatient. And we live in a society where you want that immediate satisfaction. And but the lessons that I learned my freshman year by having to be patient, by continuing to work, even if you don't get that chance on the court to display it, because eventually you're going to get an opportunity. And but just those lessons that I learned, I wouldn't trade them for anything in the world, because they've helped me so far down the line. You know, I feel like I can relate to all of my players that I have on my youth organization now, because, you know, whether it's you're the leading scorer, you're the captain, or whether you're the sixth man, or whether you're the eighth, ninth man that sometimes you're going to get in the game, sometimes you're not, or whether you're the 12th man and you never see the floor. I mean, I had plenty of games in the WNBA where I didn't get a tick. So I think I've played like every possible role on a basketball team. And so that allows me to relate to every single one of my players. There's not a scenario or a situation they can throw at me that I can't sympathize with them. And I think that's, in a bigger picture, that's greater than me saying, oh, I played all 4 years at Tennessee, I started all 4 years. Like, no, because then I wouldn't be able to relate to my players that are struggling with playing time, loss of confidence, loss of self-esteem. You know, I wouldn't be able to relate to them. And then I'm not able to be the best mentor that I can be. So, you know, you learn these, everything's 20/20 in hindsight. But, you know, I wish these players that are wanting to transfer, I get wanting to be in a better space mentally and mental health and all that. But some of these lessons that you're learning in these trenches, you're going to be able to take for years to come.
Yeah, I mean, you went through the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, freshman year was about patience for me. I came into a team with senior class. I'm sure you know Maggie Lucas, Ariel Edwards, Dara Taylor. And, you know, I had to wait my turn and figure out my role and just be patient. You know, some games I may play 20 minutes, some days, some days, you know, it just varies. So, I think every year I had a different role in college, and I had a moment my freshman year I wanted to leave because of that. And, you know, I'm glad I stayed, because now I can relate to every single day as a player, you know, being the top dog or the role player, or just, you know, being a captain or a leader. Like, everything I experienced, and it really shaped me to who I am now. So I totally get that. I think people need to just reevaluate before they decide to make that decision on transferring, because you may be where you're supposed to be. You should be patient with it.
Right.
Yeah, just to add to that, I work with a lot of girls and guys, but I try to get them in the office all the time, periodically throughout all our workouts, and I probe them and ask them questions about the universities that are attracted to them, and I tell them, who are you attracted to? That's the first thing I talk to them about. They always say, well, they wait for someone to be attracted to them. I said, no, who are you attracted to? What program fits you? That's the first question. Then the next question I always ask them, are you going where you're wanted, or are you going where you're needed?
Right.
See, no one stops and really processes that question, you know, because it's loaded.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but it's not really loaded. The thing is, you look at the program. The thing is, if you're a player that you want to be highly valued when you walk in the door, you need to go where you're needed. That'll cut down on a lot of stuff. And a lot of kids are going places where they just want it, and they're not prepared. That's another thing. So, you know, the thing is, I try to tell them all the time, come through this program, let's sit down, let's talk about all those things so we can help develop you and get you really prepared mentally and physically for what's coming up. And I think a lot of that will help a lot of kids make the best decisions. You know, nothing is perfect, like you said. You know, you still, even if when you make the choice and you're somewhere where you're needed, you're still going to go through those things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're going through it. You can't avoid it. I mean, because it's such a transition. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, you know, because you're around so many girls and guys now that are equal to who you are from a physical standpoint. So now it's all about the mental. You know, who has the capacity to get up every day and bring that same energy, that same attention to detail every day. So you can't take a step back. And the thing is, it goes to another level in the pros, because at that level there, it's about, you know, It's about you being there and going home in a few days.
Yep. Yep.
You know how it is, you in the game, and it's like, boom, it's like bench to evaluation to the last man, coming out in and out of the game, to injured reserve, to you out.
Yep. Yep.
So you know how it goes, yeah. But
it's brutal.
But yeah. So you got drafted. Like, man, the Sparks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they drafted.
Play, 14th pick. I actually went out there. Brian Agler was the coach at the time. I want to say I went out there 3 weeks before training camp even started, and started training with just the coaches and a few of the players that were there, a few of the veterans.
Yeah.
They're all throughout the training camp. And then the last day of the preseason, the day final cuts had to be made, they released me.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, my gosh, that's like, so I've been dreaming about playing in WNBA since I was 5 years old, playing pro. So when that situation happened, it was like, I was heartbroken. And I remember just leaving the conference room, and it was Penny and Agler and Kurt, who is the coach at Connecticut now, and I think Amber Smith was the assistant there as well. And they were thanking me for the time and the competitiveness, and just the numbers, weren't there, and they wanted to keep their first round pick, who was Crystal Bradford, I think, at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, LA has always been a veteran team, and they just basically only have one spot. And that's, kind of everybody knows that the league is political. And, what I thought and how I did in camp eventually doesn't matter, because it's their decision.
Yeah.
But so, that's when you kind of have to just focus on what you can control. And I'll never forget Mickey DeMoss at Tennessee. I was going through a tough time, maybe my freshman or sophomore year, and she wrote me a note. And one of the things she said is, there's two things that you can control, and it's attitude and effort. And that's something that's stuck with me ever since. And so I just remember leaving that conference room, going to the bathroom. I was crying, so I had to get myself together, wipe my eyes so nobody saw that I had been crying or whatnot. And I just remember praying, like, God, like, I don't know what your will is. Like, I want to play at the next level. Just make a way. Help me deal with this. Help me bounce back. And then I get to the hotel, and I get a call from Michael Cooper, the head coach of Atlanta. So not even within 2 hours, I'm getting a call from Coop, and he's like, Bird, he just started calling me Bird. We want you here. We want to trade for you, but they weren't willing to trade. Penny kept saying, Agler likes you. They're going to keep you. They wouldn't trade. So LA didn't end up trading for me, but then they cut me. So then Coop immediately called me 2 hours after, once he saw that I had been released. And so I think a week passes. I go back to the East Coast. I spend some time with my family, and then I head to Atlanta. And Atlanta ends up being a great fit. 4 hours from home. I'm back on the East Coast. It's like 4 hours from Charlotte, 4 hours from Knoxville. So it's just like, God did for me what I couldn't do for myself. He brought me into an even better situation. And my first game, it was weird. I played 14 minutes and scored 11 points. And so I was drafted 14th, and 11 was my number. So it's just those numbers play like that, like stuff that only God can do. I had like a great coming out party with my WNBA debut, and I was leading rookies in minutes at one point, even started a few games when Sancho Little went down with an injury. And then I got hurt myself. I broke my foot in August. So I had to sit out the remainder of the season, get surgery, and then came back here with them the next season. So, that, and then it's just been like this ever since the WNBA.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the thing is, I don't know if you're going to say anything, but I was basically going to say that it seems like, since I've known you, your life has just been about preparing for adjustments, which, the thing is, I care about the women's game. And the one thing that you mentioned earlier, you mentioned Kobe, and, we always talk about, the momentum that was going for the women's game. I felt like it was right on things were getting pushed out in the open now about the importance on the women's side and the progression of the game. And how important you ladies are to the sport. And the thing is, I always try to publicize the adjustments you guys have to make. It's even almost it's tougher than our side because you guys are splitting. You guys are talking about playing a WNBA season, then going overseas and playing a 6 or 7 month season there, then coming right back and falling into this. So really, your bodies, you don't get a rest.
No break. And then,
the thing is, I always try to ask, like, how do you make that adjustment? Like you did that. Like I know she spends 8, 9 months. Yeah, it's like
but you're year round. So.
But I mean, I in the past 2 summers, so the break has been nice. Like I commend the WNBA players that are doing 8 months overseas, 7, 8 months, whatever, and then 5 here. Like it's hard. Body. I remember when I played in Russia, which was just a hard season period because we practiced. I was at the gym 6 hours a day every day, with 2-a-days, and so I remember leaving Russia and I had never wanted a vacation so bad in my life, but I literally flew home, had 48 hours basically to change my snow clothes to my summer clothes, and then I had to fly to Vegas for training camp. So it was just like after a 7-month grueling season in Russia, and then to only have 48 hours to make that quick adjustment and prepare for training camp in the WNBA, like players who do that on a constant basis, it's unbelievable. Just body-wise, mentality-wise. But, you hope one day that doesn't have to be the case. You hope that the WNBA can continue to make the right moves so everybody can just stay home and don't have to go overseas to make additional income.
Yeah, the collective bargaining agreement has really impacted that. I like the new deal you guys got, from that standpoint, which is going to be beneficial, down the road. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's more improvements that will come with that, but it's a step in the right direction.
Right.
I'm applauding the league for that. That's all you can do. You got to take steps. That's all you can do. And the thing is, I think, people, like I said, you have to voice opinions because I think that's important. But, you have to embrace like you said, the adjustment. Because the thing is, for your story, a lot of women have that story. Especially once you leave college. It's amazing how every female player I've talked to that's played in the pros, their stories are similar once they leave college because of the transition and adapting and the things. I went through that playing overseas, adapting to different countries, different cultures, different lifestyle. I mean, you've been like,
my first season was in Greece. One of the first things that really stood out to me was, in college, there's a 30-second shot clock. When I got to Greece, 24 seconds. So, the game has even sped up even more than what I was used to in the past. And then obviously just the business side of it, just making sure that, your performance and consistency is so important each game. You can't have too many bad games, and your role is very high going overseas because you're a foreigner and, they're paying you probably the most to be there. And, the different languages, like your coaches are speak different languages, your point guard's going to probably be whatever country that you're in. So, there's a lot of things that you have to adjust to as a pro. But I think college helps you prepare for it, especially just knowing how to be adaptable and adjustable to, new things. So I think it's been good.
Yeah, I always wonder as a, because I know I went through this as a player over there. You always deal with that insecurity of the sidebar conversations that everyone's having that you're not privy to as an American.
Yeah.
Like you saw, I'm glad they put that in Love and Basketball. They actually had a little bit of that going on. Remember, she said, "What are they talking about?" And like, just give you the ball. Like, no, dude, I need the insight. I need the inside conversation y'all having. And the thing is, we have to adjust to that and still perform at a high level. Even when we don't know sometimes exactly what's going on. Now, I was fortunate. I had a translator, but sometimes the translator just didn't help me. I was like, dude, shut up, man. Like, just leave me alone. Like you ain't helping. Like, you're not telling me what they're saying.
Right.
You're just translating to me what needs to happen. So I'm like, nah. So you got to pick up on that language. You got to pick up on the slang. Like, people talk about the language. No, you got to pick up on the slang.
The basket.
Because they have a sliding.
Right.
Yeah, so those are the adjustments I'm talking about, and that's why it's so fun talking to you guys because, you guys have to deal with it more than we do as men on the men's side because guys are, pretty much in the same place, year round. So you guys have to kind of go almost two, 3 places sometimes, with a 12-month cycle. So, yeah. Stuff,
I think
man.
one of the big, and Pay probably has to deal with this as well, is just, kind of that tweener area where you're either like you're 3-4. Like here in the States, W wants me to play as a 3, but when I go overseas, they want me to play at the 4. So it's like 6 months out of the year, I have to wire my 6-7 months out of my mind. Okay, I'm that face up 4. I'm operating at the high post, short corner area, like breaking down my game to be that face 4. But then you move to that 3 in the W. Okay, now I'm a primary ball handler. I'm coming off the ball screens. I'm hitting the pick and roll. So these are adjustments that you have to make X's and O's, on the court. Of course, there's tons of off the court stuff, but like for us tweeners, like Pay and myself, it's even a bigger adjustment because, overseas, they want to stick us in the post. But then you come stateside. Okay, the post here is 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". I don't think I belong down there anymore. Let me go out over here to the wing on the perimeter and operate here. So you're having to
that was my next.
break your up by position.
Yeah, no, my first year, I had to play the center in Greece. They were like, you're a center. I was like, I am? They were like, yeah, you're the tallest one on the team, so you must be post, you must rebound and everything. So I had to figure out, like, how can I do what I do at the center? We're stretch fours, we shoot, we're perimeter, like, we have so many tools. So I had to really adjust my game and still remember that, I'm a stretch four. I still do this, but, here I still have to be a center and post and just still kind of do everything that I do and remember my identity. So it's crazy.
But think about it. What's the first place I took you in high school? I'm laughing because I'm thinking about it way back. I'm thinking back to all the workouts. The first place I took you and you when I got y'all in the gym, I took y'all to sweet spots.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Because I told y'all this is what's gonna happen, you guys, once y'all get where you're going. As you get going in the career, you got to get to these spots right here, and you got to have 3 to 4 moves to beat people. You got the pinch post area, mid block, and you got to have 3 or 4 moves from the wing. So I was basically setting you guys up for what you're involved with now, trying to help you become a player all over the floor because I knew you guys were going to be introduced to that, especially if you went overseas, because that's how it is. You have to have all those skill sets. So, and that was my next question for you. I wanted to ask you, do you think that's hurt the game or helped the game to a certain degree to a lot of players? Because to me, I've worked with a lot of players. It seems like everybody's in this unknown now where they don't know what specifics to really be efficient at. And the thing is, go ahead.
Well, I always tell my players, the more you have in the toolbox, the more versatile you become and the more valuable you become. So I'm all about expanding the game. And you see it on the men's side now. The traditional center is not there anymore. And on the women's side, there's very few true point guards. Like, they're all combo guards now. I think Ariel Massengill, my point guard at Tennessee, is one of the last of a dying breed. There's not many true E's left anymore. And it may be, I think it is a bit different on the men's side. Y'all still got
no, it's the same problem. The thing I was trying to say was, with that happening, I think what's gotten lost now is that it's like everyone's in the same area of the floor. Like everyone wanted to space. The reason why they did positionless basketball is because of spacing. They wanted to speed the game up, more 3-point shots, etc. But the thing is, I think the floor balance is getting destroyed now on both sides now, because as I coach girls and coach guys, it seems like everybody's just all over each other. And what we're seeing now is anytime we get any spacing, is typically a high screen roll action, something where it's a DHO and then everybody kind of clears out. But before, we had movements where people were cutting to the post, cutting the post, diving to the corners, allowing action to develop, pin downs, wide pin downs. You don't see much of that on the men's side anymore. You know, you still see it some on the women's side, but it's kind of going away, and I'm kind of worried about it because I think it's destroying things that they need to be efficient at from a skill standpoint.
Yeah. I mean, I think each team has their own different identity. You know, you've got teams that only operate out of that top ball screen, and your PG just has to create everything. Or you've got Golden State, who is completely opposite, who they run it could be 25 screens in one set because they do run down action and those split actions. And there's so much of their stuff is just read and react, which just takes so much time to master. And that's why a lot of teams, you know, if overseas, you can't really perfect the read and react. Notre Dame does a ton out of the triangle read and react. I remember when I was playing 3-on-3 with Jewel, she was able to teach me just a ton out of their split screens and you know, their backdoor action. So that was fun, just learning different sets and offenses and options. And I think each team has its own identity. I'll say overseas, we still do have our traditional two post. So I think our post action, our inside out, is a bit better than what the men see. And at Tennessee, we were primarily post dominant. So the ball had to go inside. That was just the way that we operated. It was inside out first. That was our mentality, and defensive rebounding, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you don't really see that as much anymore. You see some mid-range ISOs. You know, Kate about that. Kobe was obviously one of the greats. You see LeBron, Wade. You know, they can get into their mid-range ISO action, but you don't really see any low post. Everything's above the rim for alleys or, you know.
Yeah. But it's funny, you know, before the pandemic happened, I was watching the Lakers play a lot. And what I noticed, LeBron and AD was always the guy that was inside out. But I saw that LeBron started, he got it figured out. He finally figured out that I don't need to shoot a three right now. I need to back you down, you know, hit you with a little bit of this spin off, get to the cup. Now I'm gonna come downhill at you. Now you backing off. I'm making the three now. Now when I see you suffocating me, I'm going by you. Now I'm dishing. He's figured out now how to navigate through that process, and that's what I mean by the balance. Like I still feel like he was still a part of that generation that understood that. It's the new jacks now that don't know, so they're kind of like all over the place, and they're just taking ill-advised shots because of analytics. Because you know, really, that's the word that really has affected the game. Analytics. You know, everything's about you know the mid range is now, you know, those are bad shots. So
non-existent.
You know, yeah, I mean, you know, Melo basically couldn't get a job because of his style. You know, he's a mid post guy that plays from the elbows, the mid block, and he shoots. You know, he shoots the three. Obviously, you know, he's a high volume shooter, but he needed an abundance of shots. So that adjustment has been, you know, amazing. Then watching Candace, you know, I saw her game evolve over the years because, you know, she's at like stretch four, like you guys, that can, you know, kind of do a number of things. But she's had to make another adjustment to her game because they're not throwing it down there anymore. So she's becoming, you know, so her ball handling skills and, you know, her ability to create other activity off DHO actions now, you know, it's really, you know, that's really giving her a lot of flexibility as I see her progress late in her career. So, but yeah, I mean, that's what it's about, man. You know, adjustments and those changes are, you know, they're vital. That's why I want to get you guys kind of insight or opinions about it because, you know, it's not popular for guys to sit around like this with girls all the time, but it should be. It should be a balanced conversation because I think the game is gender free. I've always had my mindset, you know, and going to Tennessee, you know, we were always around the girls.
Right.
At the time, everyone was inclined. That was the great thing about it when we were there. It was like that when I came along. So, you know, Nikki was there, Nikki McCray, Nikki McCallwell was there, Dina Head. I mean, I'm talking about heavy hitters. Shamika came through when I came back. They were there, the Meeks. You know, and Shamika Rams. I was able to work with all of them, and I remember just how we would go in and just grind and work. But all those girls had specifics. that was the cool thing about them. You know, they had things that we could dominate. We can see automatically. We came in the gym. You know, Meek was strong on the post. She could shoot it. You know, her ISO game was there, the whole nine. So it's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going. You know, I keep going. So y'all got to cut me off. You know, so.
I love that the game is genderless. You know.
Yeah.
So it's important that we have more conversations.
Yeah.
Just from everyone about this stuff, because we have different stories and just different experiences that all relate to.
And the last thing I was going to add is, you know, I love that on the men's side now, women are getting opportunity to work with the men. Like, how do you feel about that? Because you're seeing, like, there's been obviously a push in the league. You know, I know Grizzlies made a hire. I think Tolliver, I think she's working for the Wizards. We have, you know, a lot of the girls, not because it started with Nancy. And the thing is, you know, now women are getting opportunity. Becky Hammond. I mean, we're going to see a women's head coach in the NBA. It's coming. But the thing, that's a good thing, because I think, you know, I had Sheila Bowles was my first coach in junior high school in the 9th grade. She coached us. We won a championship. First female coach in North Carolina history to coach a boys team.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we were unbelievable, but she took us under, and I mean, she was harder on us than the men coaches.
Right. I mean, I think Adam Silver has done a great job of just pushing the women's game. And, I mean, being the commissioner of the NBA, he's got the biggest platform possible. And so for him, you know, pushing to get more women on staffs, pushing to get more women referees, that's huge. I mean, that's what we need. And so that's why you've seen hires. You got Teaspoon down in New Orleans. You got Ivy, who just got, I mean, she was with Memphis. Now she's the head coach with Notre Dame. You got Swing Cash, you know, in the front office. Rusha Brown just got the player ops position in somewhere. But you see, so Christy, with Washington, you see more and more women getting involved on the women's side, on the men's side. Kara Lawson, and that's what you need. Like you said, it's genderless, and real basketball players, you know, the NBA players, they respect the women. They respect their knowledge. They respect their game. And it's these, you know, the average Joes that are bashing the women, those that actually haven't played or played at a high level. So quite frankly, their opinion on basketball doesn't even matter to me. But those who know the game, they respect women and their knowledge. And I think we'll see more and more women coaching on the sidelines and being in the front. That's huge.
Well, I'm an advocate for it, because, you know, I want to see, you know, I want to start seeing all these shows, you know, really putting more spotlight on the game, you know, besides just showing the highlights, saying, well, they played last night. Nah, dude. You know, because the thing is, I got daughters. So I'm sensitive to that. When I'm watching and I'm listening, I see, you know, the tone, how it changes versus, you know, the men's side and the women's side. I think it's a balance. There's a beauty on the women's side that's not there on the men's side, that's still a part of the game. And, we have to spotlight that and showcase that. And that's what Kobe was trying to do. You know, the thing, I'm going to continue extending that, you know, so because that's important, especially, you know, having girls, you know, I have to do that.
Honestly, all these NBA players beginning to have daughters, that's helping us, because now they see the disparity. Now they're seeing, you know, how much attention and revenue and investment is going into the men's game that the women's game isn't necessarily seeing. And they're trying to make that change because they've now got daughters, Steph, LeBron. You know, these players, they got daughters now, so now they're like, wait a minute, something ain't right. It's a little off balance. And they're working to make that change just like you. And I think that's huge. We need more, you know, male advocates.
Yeah, well, we're going to get it. But, you know, I got to keep it moving. So check it out. You know, I had to bring it out. You know, hey, I'm sorry about this, Peyton, but hey, how many dudes at 49 can put on their college jersey? I mean,
that's impressive.
Boom.
That's impressive.
No, it ain't that tight. No, my jump loose.
It ain't tight,
Hey, but you know, I'm sorry. You know, she went to Penn State, but you know, I'm talking to a VFL. You know, we got to talk about the legacy. You know, the Tennessee Vols, baby. You know, I got the jersey in the back, got it on. Hey, like I said, hey, it's always good to be on with a VFL, you know?
She looking for hers.
Yeah, so you looking around. So you supposed to have the
It's
jersey,
down-
girl. You know you got to come on with the jersey.
Let me see what I got to do.
You got it somewhere.
Oh,
I see a hat.
that orange.
I see a hat.
We got the Lady Ball hat. We got the Volunteers hat. We got the SEC Championship hat. I mean, which one you want? Which one you want?
Oh, I mean, we're sorry about it, babe. We just, we had to have that moment.
Okay.
And, that, like I said, I remember when she came down her junior year and they played, and I remember that she demanded, she said, you cannot wear anything with orange. You got to have on Penn State stuff. At least the colors. I said, I'll have the colors on. That's all I got.
King Pay.
But under that shirt, I had this, though. This one, we got to represent. So, but it's amazing. Why I got you on. They've gone back to this. These jerseys are now
The
what they
retro look?
Yeah, this retro. Yeah, I mean that's what they're doing now. This was my jersey, my junior year. That's how old this jersey is. Yeah. Say what?
It's not that material though, is it? They gonna go with that material?
It's obviously a different material. I mean, it's a tighter fit with a, it's more. Yeah. But but like I said, I think I kept all my stuff, so I keep it in good shape. You gotta keep it. So.
Stay with me. We're gonna go to the jersey.
I know you got it somewhere.
This around. This my whole Tennessee. Boom. We got the hey.
Yeah.
That's all right. What we got over here? Got the honor rolls, University of Tennessee.
There you go.
Hold on though. We can go to the jersey.
Okay.
We're gonna get the jersey on here. Let me run down.
Oh man.
Yeah, she got everything. That's awesome.
We move. Okay, here we go. We in business now. We in business.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah.
With the torchbearer joint.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what's
All
up.
right, I'm on the same page now, Coach.
Say what?
I said I'm on the same page with you now.
Oh yeah, you gotta be. Oh yeah, you know how we gotta do that. So, but it's about legacy, and the thing is, we continue. It's like my, you haven't seen Paige yet. Have you been following Paige a little bit? My young.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Hey, she next. She next.
Oh, I know.
She on deck. I'm gonna keep her eye on her.
Hey, can she beat you, Pay?
No, she didn't beat me yet. No. She not beating me.
Peyton still lay that wood on.
But maybe later. I mean, she's talented, so she may come up to me soon.
It looked like she got a little bit of dog in her too.
Oh yeah, she got a lot of that.
She's competitive. Like she don't losing.
No. Yeah, I would call her in here, but I think she get some schoolwork done this morning. So
she's shy.
Yeah. Oh no, she ain't shy. Trust me. She just But you know how they get at that age. They get moody and all that. I don't feel like doing that, but she can get after it. So
I love it. Yeah, well, I hope she too.
Yeah, hey, let me tell you, I wish we didn't have to go. Man, I tell you, we could be doing this and we're gonna have to do another episode.
I know. I need to just come train with y'all.
Yes. Well, look, all you gotta do is just get here. So it's all good.
Y'all low key mad far.
Yeah,
it
is far from Charlotte.
Oh yeah. That's a flight. So I mean, but I'm coming through. We're gonna try to get through. I mean, at some point I got to get home because I haven't been, and we're gonna drive to North Carolina. We're gonna go to Wilmington, and we're gonna have to figure it out. So
whenever y'all go, I'm seeing Mr. Lenny and Miss Joanne on actually this weekend.
Cool.
Maybe tomorrow I head down to the beach today.
Cool. That's good. Be careful down there now. Be careful now. No.
Well, my mom works down there actually.
Oh, you straight. You ain't got to worry about going. You're all right. So what's she doing down there?
She's a student counselor for military families.
Wow.
So she's right there in Fort City. Jacksonville's big military.
Yeah.
So she's right there. So we're gonna go out there and celebrate Mother's Day.
Okay,
Good.
that's cool.
So,
That's cool.
yeah.
Tell everybody I said hello and all that good
Well,
stuff.
and tell all the ladies Happy Mother's Day.
Yes. Yeah, I'll let my wife know and everybody. So we good. Yeah. Hey, it was
All right,
good
well,
seeing you.
yeah,
You know, man,
absolutely.
this was great. Oh man, this was fun this morning. So this was the best show I think we've had. I mean, oh man, this was great. So yeah, I mean,
No,
that's what it's about. But cool,
awesome.
you know.
Y'all.
Huh?
Appreciate y'all.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming on. So, but yeah,
Sure.
we'll get back together and we'll be in contact.
Okay, come through. Come to North Carolina. Pay. Listen, you always welcome here.
Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah. All right, now.
All
You
right.
take care.
All right. Bye.
All right, now see you in a little bit. All right, bye-bye. Yeah, that was a good show. What you think?
I thought it was great.
Yeah, that was
We
fun.
talked about a lot of good stuff that was necessary right now to discuss. So she has some great experiences at University of Tennessee. I think you guys have great connections with that, and talking about her professional experiences and mine, it's really insightful.
And the last thing I want to say is that we're talking about colleges. For all you listeners out there, girls that are playing the game, I said something earlier that's important. You need to be where you need it and not where you want it. So when you go to an institution, of your choice, make sure that you're paying attention to those things, as you go in. And, I can't emphasize that enough. And Cierra kind of, hit the nail on that about, you're going to go through things while you're there, but you at least need to be where you really want to be. You don't want to go somewhere where you're pushed to be like, I went to Tennessee, she went to Penn State. That was the best scenario for her. And the thing is, it doesn't matter where you go. What matters is you want to be in an institution that fits you best, and it's a great marriage. And you get the best out of it because you graduated, everything was taken care of, the whole nine. It was a great experience for you, and that's what it's about. So, all you dads out there that are, helping your daughters, those are things you need to be focusing on, and making sure that they're prepared for the next step and pushing them and giving them insight as they go forward. So anyway, it's a great show today. I'm glad everybody tuned in. We're going to be back next week. So keep it locked in. Be safe out there. Take care.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye. Whoa.